started. There we go. All right. So I'll try to keep everything as brief and concise as possible. Um, we got a lot of work to do in this department, specifically when it comes to documents and all of that. So we're gonna be touching on that in a little bit. If you don't know who I am, my name's Fane. If you play on Liberty at all, you probably know who I am, or maybe not. Maybe I just wasn't relevant. But if you didn't play on Liberty, you came here. I have a few years of experience being a commissioner or a chief of police or a manager or a whatever. I mean, I've pretty much done it all. So I kind of have a good gist of what I'm doing. I'm a very nice guy. I don't really like to be hard on everyone. But it really depends on the atmosphere of the server and the management of that server. And because the atmosphere on the server is much different than what we came from, everything should be going smoothly. So if you have any questions, my DMs are always open. I don't usually close my DMs unless it becomes too overwhelming, meaning that way too many people are messaging me and they're not following chain of command. And that's when it becomes an issue, and that's when I usually go ahead and turn my DMs off. But we shouldn't have that issue here starting off. So let's talk about chain of command, because I don't think that was properly established. A lot of ranks have been removed due to the fact that the department is pretty small right now. We're planning on growing and adding more ranks as we grow. So basically how the chain of command works is you're a cadet, then you're a probationary trooper, then you are a normal trooper, then you are a corporal, then you are a sergeant, then you are a sergeant major, then you're a lieutenant, then you're a captain. And then when you get in the high command, there's going to be a major, an assistant chief, a deputy commissioner, and a commissioner. So the master sergeant rank, the staff sergeant rank, the senior trooper rank, and the assistant commissioner rank, as well as I think the deputy chief rank, have all been removed due to the fact that I want to give more responsibilities to the people that are in the positions that they're in, whether you're chief or assistant chief. And we don't really have the numbers to support having an assistant commissioner, a deputy chief, a senior trooper, and what have you. So those ranks have been removed. As we start to grow, we will start to add some of those ranks. So we're not going to have 50 troopers and then like 3 sergeants and then no one just getting promoted. No, like we're going to add more ranks. But for right now, that's what it's going to be. So sergeants are going to be extremely important. Corporals are going to be the rank before sergeant. You know, if you're showing that your supervisor ready. But we still have a few questions and we're still kind of debating to put you as a supervisor. We'll put you as a corporal, obviously. But you're going to have a lot of seniority over the rest of the department. So majority of the department is going to be those trooper, probationary trooper ranks. As we start to grow, and then we'll start to add those other ranks, of course. But that's a little bit about me. So what we did so far. So let's talk about documents. We basically need to revise every document in this department, whether if it's a subdivision document or a just general SOP for the department. We have to revise everything. So me and Spencer are going to be going through every single document. If you are in air unit, if you're in SWAT, if you're in speed enforcement, if you're in whatever, any document that pertains to your subdivision is going to have to be looked over by me and Spencer. We're going to check for plagiarism. We're going to check for copy and pasting from other servers. We're going to check for grammar. We're going to check for, does this make sense? Okay. We're going to go through all that. We're going to make sure that the things that you guys are making actually make sense. One thing that I will say is if you are a department head, we do not tolerate just straight up copying and pasting from other servers. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we don't tolerate just blatant plagiarism because it really has no positive effect on the server. And it's not our work. We want to be proud of our work. We want to be proud of what we've done. And so we have a good week's worth of work ahead of us. The SOP is being redone. Use of force is going to be implemented into the SOP, so that's also being redone. Trello, our roster is being redone. Let's see. I mean, I deleted the whole thing that wasn't important information, but everything's being redone. And so if you are a department head or you are in a subdivision, not a department head, subdivision head, then we are going to have a little talk after the meeting, and we're basically just going to go over what documents need to be made if you are still lacking on some documents and stuff like that. Here's how subdivisions are going to work. If your subdivision is like barely getting off the ground, then this is going to be your time to kind of start getting everything that you need. If you need vehicles, if you need liveries, if you need uniforms, if you need weapons, if you need documents, if you need anything like that, this is going to be your time to start asking me and to start asking me and Spencer for things that you need. Because once we get rolling here after about a week, if you're still missing stuff, they're going to look at you like, what were you doing for the past week? So that's what we're going to be doing. I think we're missing a head for SWAT, so that's going to be decided later today. We don't have a head for K9, so that's going to be decided later today, I believe. Speed enforcement is, who is it, Cam?
That's correct. Yeah, it's gonna be Cam.
Okay, so that's been decided, and then the air is Spencer. So K9 and SWAT, we're gonna need heads for that. If you think that you can be a head, then just straight up say, hey, like I want to be a head of the department. I mean, it's really not that, it's not that big of a deal. You're gonna have more responsibility, and you're gonna be responsible for basically rebuilding your subdivision from the ground up. I'm not too strict about subdivisions. But we need to make sure that everything that we're doing actually makes sense and that we're thoroughly thinking about the decisions that we're making. So if we're adding 25 ranks for one subdivision, we need to sit down and say, do we really need 25 different ranks for that subdivision when we don't even have 25 people in the department? So we need to make sure that everything that we do is really being thought about. And so we're definitely going to go over that with you guys as well. But other than that, you guys should already know about activity. Just keep it going. We don't have an hour requirement right now, so just try your best. I love seeing you guys on. I saw you guys on earlier. I gave you guys a little shout out. That was great. I tried to get on the server, but I could not for some reason. It was saying that the server was offline, so that was weird. But let's see. One thing about activities for me is it's more than just being active in the server. It's also being active in the Discord server as well. So if you like never get in game, but you're super active in the Discord server, you're not active to me. You have to be doing both. You have to be doing both, because if our Discord server is dead 24/7, but we're like on every single day on the server, that just doesn't make any sense. Like that shouldn't be how it is. So we need to make sure that if you are going to, try to go for that status of active in the department and move up, you're doing both. You're saying, good morning, in general in chat. You're answering people's questions. You're trying to spark conversations, be engaging, posting, memes and GIFs and talking about Netflix or anime or, oh, I just had a good scene, and, and, let's talk about the scene I had or whatever. Doing that kind of stuff, it makes people more engaged. It makes people want to play on the server, and it makes them want to talk to you specifically, and it kind of creates a bond that I want to kind of go for in the department. So let's make sure we're doing that. The probationary phase, something that me and the sheriff are both going to be doing, is basically a little phase in the department, which basically means you're going to be a probationary trooper, and you're going to have to go through a certain time of ride-alongs. And in order to be promoted, you're going to have to basically be on that ride along constantly, and you're gonna be getting advice and going to scenes with other troopers and stuff like that, trying to make that as realistic as possible. So look forward to that, because that is coming up soon. As well as transfers, guys. Unfortunately, transfers are gonna be completely just shut down. Transfers do not exist anymore on the server. This has been spoken about between myself and the sheriff, and basically a transfer is an easy way out for a lot of us. It's like, I get demoted in this department, so I'm just gonna go to the other one and then try to get promoted there. It's really unrealistic. I mean, if you become LEO or IRL, you're not gonna be at one department for 2 weeks and then say, well, I don't really like my sheriff, so I'm gonna go to this other department over here. Like, that's not really how it works. And so we need to make sure that if you're joining a department, you 100% know that you want to be a part of that department. Because if you want to go to the other one, you're going to have to quit and reapply and start all over. And that's not fun for anyone. So please make sure we're taking that seriously. But other than that, I believe in stability. I believe in having someone in charge or multiple people in charge that know what they're doing and that try their best to... Well, I'm getting a message here. Are you going to over issues? I don't know what that means, Gabe. Are you going to Are you going over department issues like performance? Oh yeah, we'll get to that. But I believe in stability, and I believe in having people stay where they're at, which is another reason why transfers are not gonna be a thing. Because if you get promoted into high command, it's all good and dandy, and then you transfer out a week later, it's like that's not good for the server at all. So let's see. As well as performance, guys, we're gonna try our best to really train you guys on how to just be an LEO on this server. Like, we're gonna make sure that before you become a cop, before you become an actual trooper and you're on your own, you know what you're doing. You know how to do a traffic stop. You know some of the penal codes. You know how to, de-escalate situations and escalate situations. We're going to do a pretty good job with that because we're not going to baby you and walk you through the whole process. If you don't know what you're doing and you're a corporal, sergeant, and you still don't know what you're doing, we're going to, demote you and send you to retraining because we just don't have time for constantly reprimanding you because you don't know how to do a traffic stop and you're a captain. Like that's not what we're gonna do. So punishments in the department are pretty simple. It's basically a 3-strike system. You get 1 strike, that's your warning. You get 2 strikes, you're almost out of here. 3 strikes, you're gone. Someone just put on their camera. Who is that? Oh, that's Banks. Just a heads up. So yeah, 3 strikes and you're out of here, guys. I mean, it's very straightforward. I'm very forgiving. I like to look at the facts. I like to look at the evidence. I like to base your punishment off of your person as a whole and how you act. But if we're acting stupid and really acting childish, then we just don't have time for it in the department. Like, we have way too much stuff to work on. We don't have time to be babying anyone here. So other than that, let's make sure that we're treating BCSO and communications department with absolute respect. BCSO has treated myself and Spencer very well. I have a very good relationship with the sheriff and the undersheriff, as well as the owner of the server, and a lot of the high command over there as well. And I know the dispatch director very well. So let's make sure that we are treating them with respect. If there's a dispatcher on and they're telling you to do something, or they're telling you to be quiet because they can't hear someone else transmitting, like, you need to respect that and you need to listen to them. Because if I get a report from the director of dispatch or the sheriff saying that you're not listening to their underlings, it's going to be very bad for you, because I take them very seriously. I take what they do very seriously, and I know they take their stuff very seriously too. So we need to all be on the same page on that.
Babe, I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
Yes, sir.
Same thing applies for my deputies in this channel as well. We're upholding that same standard. We're showing HP the utmost respect, and as well as communications and fire. Everything that Fame said basically applies to us as well. So
awesome. And again, I am your commissioner. That does not mean that I am this big bad wolf that is scary and you shouldn't even talk to. I'm always here. I am just a figure in the department that represents stability and control. That's all I am. I'm gonna be in the background. I'm gonna be in the server. I'm gonna be holding meetings. I'm gonna be giving punishments and giving promotions, but you shouldn't look at me as some sort of big bad wolf that's gonna blow your house down or come hunt you down when you're sleeping. Like, that's not what I'm here for. And so we're really gonna try to push away from that. So now we're gonna get to the FAQ of the meeting, and then we'll wrap it up. So please post your questions in meeting chat, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. It could be about me, it could be about Banks, it could be about anyone. But if you don't have any questions, then we'll kind of just wait a minute and then we'll dismiss. By the way, this meeting is being recorded, so yeah. Can we have an Attack on Titan movie night? I want to watch Attack on Titan with you. Sure. It's very good.
Fredo, you have your camera on, by the way.
Fredo, turn your fucking camera off.
Why does everyone keep turning their camera on? Check DMs. I'll check that later because I'm actively recording and I have to turn this into an MP3 file. Okay. No questions? No questions? Going once, going twice? Guys, please show the previous commissioners respect. I know they weren't here for a long time, especially Kier, but if you do see them, please, thank them for what they did for the department, and tell them that you do, respect them, and we're not going to shame anyone here or say, oh, well, Fame's a better commissioner, Spoon's a better commissioner, Kier's a better commissioner. Like, we're not going to do that. We're all commissioners. We all do the same thing. We're just completely different people, so.
Now you can with the ISSA.
Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. So now we're going to go ahead and transmission. If you are a head of a department, please go to waiting for executive command. If you are high command, please go to high command office. And if you are sheriff or anything like that, then go to my office. Everyone's dismissed. Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Appreciate